Hello everyone. My name is Devika Wood and I'm the CEO of Brain Plus. So at Brain Plus, we are delivering dementia therapy simply and safely using CST, which is a NICE recommended intervention. So we're solving for a massive global challenge, which requires very smart, scalable solutions. A new case of dementia is arising every 3 seconds, and the global challenge that we are expecting is around 139 million people living with dementia by 2050. And so that's 1 in 3 by 2050. In the UK alone, the annual cost to the NHS and the social care sector by 2040 is £94 billion. 60% of those living with dementia are cared for in the community, and 40% are living in care homes. And is a key driver for unplanned hospital admissions, with approximately 25% of hospital beds occupied by somebody living with dementia. So 44 million people globally are living with mild to moderate dementia, and there is little to no intervention on the market that currently services them. But meet cognitive stimulation therapy. This is the world's leading non-drug intervention for mild to moderate dementia. It's NICE recommended. It's the leading non-drug therapy proven to improve cognition in dementia patients. It delays cognitive decline by up to 6 months and measurably improves mood, communication, and engagement. It's globally adopted, implemented across 35 plus countries. It's a group-based therapy, so it's really cost effective. Evidence isn't the issue. This therapy has been around for 20 plus years, but delivery is. So what we say is, imagine if in just 7 weeks, you could improve cognition by 50%, boost quality of life in residence by 48%, and measurably improve social life, mood, adaptability, and hopefulness by up to 50%. And studies have shown that in multiple settings where CST is an intervention, we're seeing a reduction in sedatives and antipsychotic medication. So what we're doing is we're bringing this NICE recommended dementia therapy into the hands of everyone. And we're doing this through Isla, which is our Class 1 UKCA medical device, which essentially is an evidence-based activities toolkit to deliver the best-in-class dementia care, which delays cognitive decline. So Isla, your CST assistant, is the UK's first digital tool that enables care teams to deliver CST with ease. In Isla, you get a 14-session CST program, which is aligned to the official CST manual. In this, there are over 200 plus evidence-based activities. There's absolutely no preparation required. And you have 1-day training for carers and staff, healthcare professionals. We allow for outcome tracking, so we collect all the data in line, and it enables a lot of governance and regulatory control when it comes to CQC, which is the biggest governance body in the UK. And how we capture outcomes. So for the first time, we're capturing outcomes when people are delivering CST. We look at a number of different metrics aligned with the clinical studies and the clinical evaluation metrics. These include resident engagement in sessions, resident cognitive function and well-being, and family satisfaction and caregiver outcomes. And we create a fully embedded outcome report that after every single 7-week CST group, we provide every organisation that's utilising Isla with a very, very clear outcome report that shows them how people have improved in their cognitive function. And the outcomes that we've been delivering are absolutely remarkable. So we've seen quality of life improve significantly. We've seen 50% improvement in cognition. We've seen an improvement in social engagement, 56.5% increase in recognition and memory, and a 66.3% boost in planning and decision making. And families have actually noticed the massive change. They're seeing a clarity in speech, a reduction in anxiety, and even a sense of belonging and ability to remember things that they've never remembered before. We've brought this first of its kind qualification, so we're enabling HCPs anywhere, which are healthcare professionals anywhere, to deliver evidence-based dementia therapy. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring this evidence-based therapy out from where it sits currently in the hospitals into every single care setting globally. And as I said, all of our outcome metrics and all of the standardization, being a Class 1 medical device, enables everyone that's delivering this therapy to meet and exceed regulatory standards through the outcome tracking, through instant reporting, through developing accurate real-time evidence around data and showcasing quality. Because we are a Class 1 medical device, we are standardized against the NICE recommendations, and we're fully aligned with all regulatory compliance controls. We've made it super simple to embed this, so you can train in less than a day to become a CST qualified facilitator. It's plug and play, so any organization that wants to deliver this therapy simply gets set up very, very quickly, and there's scalable growth. So once you're embedded into our platform, which is a SaaS annual platform license, you can deliver as many groups as you possibly want. Here's some feedback from some residents and individuals that have used CST. Things like, I remember my childhood, and a family member saying that they have the ability to speak to their father again. So in terms of the UK market opportunity, so as I said, we've developed a digital cognitive stimulation therapy SaaS platform. We've created this so that it is accessible and it's scalable, and it's a one size fits all. Prices start from £1,500 per year for care facilities to simply embed this into their activities cadence, into their delivery of care. So when I talk about care facilities, I'm talking about care homes, residential care settings. We also have the ability for home care organisations to deliver this in the community at the same price. And we're working with a number of NHS trusts, which is slightly more advanced in its pricing structure because we embed it into their memory assessment clinics. And so the usual cost of CST delivery is actually £600 per person. But what we've made this is super obtainable, super affordable, so that we can get scale of delivery across many people as possible. So our total addressable market is really pretty big. We've accurately estimated it at about £148 million. We can achieve platform revenue of about 27.7 million from a SaaS platform, and that's about obtaining to about 85% serving mild to moderate in the UK. And the service revenue is even larger, pertaining to about £120 million. We're already delivering in the market currently in the UK market, and we are on track to achieve our revenue targets for the end of this year. So the year one was a market entry. We are on track to deliver 193 care home sites spanning care homes and home care, and we have 2 NHS pilots that have commenced. Year two, we'll be scaling across the market, hopefully attaining 6% market penetration, and this will be fit across a platform licensing model within the care home settings and a service delivery model. And year three, we'll have an established presence, including uplift and contract renewals from our existing customers, and further penetration into the market. And we currently have new market opportunities that we are actively in conversations with in Canada and Australia. So we are currently targeting those two as our next set of territories to go after. And the Australian and Canadian market are very similar to the UK market in terms of the care home market and the at-home care market, which is very, very large and has a similar delivery model as we do in the UK. And because the therapy is endorsed across 40 countries nationwide globally, we have an ability to do a land and expand model across all the different territories globally. And so we aim to achieve a combined total of 1.6 million for year two, and year three, a combined total when we scale our presence of 6.71 across Australia, Canada, and UK based on our existing platform and service delivery model. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense, and you can join us in transforming the lives of those living with dementia.
Thank you, Devika. It's very interesting. I've read, I think Japan is quite far ahead in this field of because they have an aging population, and they've been dealing with this sort of problem for quite a while, experimenting, for instance, with electronic pets and stuff to sort of stimulate people with dementia. So apart from your take on this, what other sort of products do you see as the competitive landscape?
Yeah, so
obviously quite fragmented.
In terms of what we're doing, we have a first market mover advantage. So we're the first to bring a digital ILA, a digital CST solution into the market. We are very advantaged because we have designed and co-designed ILA with KOL experts and the inventor of CST from UCL. So we've had that first mover advantage in terms of bringing CST into the market. We're also really fortunate that we have the first mover advantage of bringing this into the care home settings. CST has never before been delivered outside of the hospital settings, where usually somebody is diagnosed with dementia and then referred for CST. Due to the massive amount of wait times that exist within the NHS setting, people often then don't get referred onto CST, and their symptoms of dementia advance quite significantly, so they're no longer relevant for it. So in terms of opportunities around us embedding CST with any other competitors, we have that first mover advantage. In terms of other solutions that we're seeing on the market, which we are hopefully going to partner with, it's around the diagnosis. So having more accurate methodologies to diagnose dementia, utilizing digital solutions, biomarkers. So we're hoping to do a pilot with some partners that exist currently within the NHS setting from Cambridge, that we can sort of then build in a full service delivery model. So yeah, the idea is to get people accurately and timely diagnosed, so that they can be relevant and streamlined into CST, so that we can then delay cognitive decline as much as possible between that 6 to 12 months, so that then their quality of life is significantly improved, and so then they have a better chance of living a better life.
I see. It's interesting that you're recommended by NICE. Obviously, it's a tried and tested concept. Does this have an effect with reimbursement issues? You mentioned the cost of £1,500 per year. Is that out of pocket, or is it the caregiver who pays it, or is there some sort of insurance part of it? Can you talk a little bit about the financing side of your system?
Yes, of course. So in the NHS, if a solution is NICE recommended, then obviously it's able to be recommended for in the NHS setting. So in the NHS, the memory assessment clinics where you'll be diagnosed with dementia commission CST to be delivered. It's commissioned across about 200 of the 260 memory assessment clinics currently, but they're delivering it poorly. They don't have a digital solution to do it. So that's what I was talking about, having the first 2 NHS pilots with 2 memory assessment clinics to deliver cognitive stimulation therapy utilizing Isla. In that case, it will be reimbursed, so it will be costed in for the patients. With our private route, which is through the care home settings, we target the 10,500 care homes that exist in the UK, and they pay privately to embed Isla into their activities cadence and into their care delivery model. They have a very, very clear ROI from embedding Isla, which they can make back very quickly, because they improve outcomes, they reduce the amount of care needs that are needed, they can evidence CQC very, very easily, and they can upskill their healthcare workers to be dementia therapists. So they have a very clear ROI. One of the other elements that we're working with care homes is for them to leverage their assets as community-based delivery model. So they'll invite people from the community, they'll pay a price to be taking part, to have CST, and so the care homes are making back that annual license fee very, very quickly. Since we've started that model, we've seen our sales increase significantly over the last week, because if they're paying an annual license fee and they're making it back pretty much within the first 4 months, then we're going to get opportunities for scale very quickly. And the reason why we did 2 separate markets, it's really important as a business to have a very clear private market that you can attack and generate revenue quickly, whilst you're also in parallel working on the public sector, which we all know will take a much longer time. But once you start leveraging and getting noticed and starting the pilots, you'll end up with a very, very easy model to try to scale across the NHS.
Right. In the pharmaceutical industry, you often talk about key opinion leaders. Does that exist in this segment as well? Some care home centers that have perhaps some sort of special recognition in the UK market, or any other sort of, well, customers that you would really like to enroll with your system?
Yeah, so when we refer to KOLs in this, we would talk about those care homes that are really leading in terms of dementia delivery. So those would be the largest care home providers, the likes of HC1, Majesty Care, Hallmark, they are kind of logo care home customers. We've managed to enter into all of those, and so that's really positive for us. But the other side is people that are associated with Care England, and we've managed to get into that as well. And then CQC. So for us to get CQC stamp of approval, it's a really huge tick for us and a win. We're really lucky that CQC actively now has a new inspection framework where they expect to see outcome-based delivery models. And so for the first time, we are embedding this solution into care homes where they can actively track outcomes and align them back to the evidencing framework that they need to do in order to hit their regulatory requirements. So I think we've managed to come into the market at a really opportune moment where things have lined up quite nicely. CQC's dementia strategy came out. Care England released their report on the dementia delivery within care home settings, and the NHS has a huge element of their 10-year plan baked into improving access of interventions for dementia patients. So we've come at a very nice time, and we're seeing that momentum quite clearly in our sales growth that we've seen.
Sounds great. Going back to NHS and NICE, in Sweden, healthcare is provided in 21 regions, and when it comes to pharmaceuticals, it's very much a nationwide standard, whereas medical tech devices is something else. You sort of work region by region, and the standards vary quite a lot. What's included in the guidelines and not. So how does it work in the UK? Is it a unified market? So you're going nationwide once you get into the NICE recommendation, or?
Yeah, so once you're in NICE recommendations, it's nationwide, so you don't have to work location by location. What you do have to do within the NHS is obviously every single ICB is separate. They have separate commissioning structures. However, the dementia care pathways are similar across all those ICBs. So once you've embedded into one, it's quite easy to embed into the others. We're part of the NHS Clinical Entrepreneurship Programme, which only accepts 3% of innovators. And that's given us a direct route into the NHS in the last few months, which has really helped us to leverage into servicing these pilots. And the other pilot that we've managed to land, which is really groundbreaking, is to bring CST fully, or to try to bring it out of the NHS into primary care. We are piloting delivering CST at point of diagnosis within the primary care setting, so within the GP practices. And we're about to launch that with one of the largest primary care networks in Bristol next week. That will enable us to collect data showcasing that if we can diagnose accurately in the primary care setting, we can intervene very quickly using CST. We can instrumentally improve outcomes and quality of life really rapidly, which will delay the need for interventions like the sedatives and the antipsychotics, but also have an incredible economic footprint on limiting the kind of amount of hospital admissions, falls, delirium, and UTI. So we've got an economist that's working with us as we do this pilot to work out all of those different pathways that we can then use to infer a large commissioning model into the primary care setting. So that's the bit that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, it sounds like a very, very large market. I guess, though, it's also a bit of a distribution problem if you look at the commercial side, that you have to reach these GP clinics, which requires a network. Could you partner up with perhaps another distributor of medical devices, or do you plan to sort of work that distribution on your own?
So we're quite lucky in the sense of being part of the NHS Clinical Entrepreneurship Programme leverages us to have a lot of awareness in the sector and the market now. And we've built a lot of brand awareness and market awareness around what we're doing. We've gathered a really great advisory team of GP clinicians, advisors who sit in the NHS, who are actively working as ambassadors and I suppose KOLs to leverage us into the NHS setting. And we found that has worked really, really well. The NHS is a very much word of mouth referrals way of working. So it's who you know and who is your biggest advocate. And we've done really well to secure some people that talk about us so loudly from the rooftops. And I think that's the only thing that you can really ask for in this setting.
Sounds amazing. It's 9 p.m., so I think it's time to say goodnight. Just one question. It seemed like it's quite an easy threshold. You don't need a lot of training with the staff to start using this system. Would it be unreasonable to think that perhaps in the future you could launch some kind of retail version of this? I mean, a lot of people are caring for people with dementia in their own families, and I think it would be a very helpful tool to be able to buy it sort of off the shelf or subscribe to it and use it yourself.
Yeah,
Is
so
that
that's
in the cards?
That's definitely in our pipeline. It's something we're actually working on developing at the moment. So we've had a lot of people and interest from the home care sector and informal carers to utilize Isla in the home on a one-to-one setting. So we're developing that now, and it'll be an opportunity to kind of do a distribution platform via the home care setting. So we're already in kind of deep discussions with a lot of home care providers about that opportunity. So yeah, there is vast opportunity with this. I think the market is so big. And we've also managed to get what's called CPD qualification, so accreditation for the training for CST for the first time. So we've got that under our belt as well, which is going to be really positive for us to be able to kind of give a validation to the qualification and the accreditation of CST.
Sounds like there are lots of venues for growth. So what about the financial situation? I guess you have to prioritize among these options. So if you look from the financial perspective, what's your funding situation? I mean, do you have cash for operations for the coming years, or?
Yeah, so we're hoping to break even by H2 2026 if we hit our targets. But what we're looking to do is now get in some growth capital to enable us to grow and scale up significantly. The break even is based on no growth, no operational overhead increasing. And so in order for us to scale rapidly, go into new territories and start to do new product development, we need to get that growth injection in order for us to do that. So that's what we're looking to hopefully raise. Yeah, we want some very strategic investors on board to help us to get to that. So hopefully, yeah, we can find some brilliant people.
Well, good luck with your financing, and thank you very much for an informative and interesting presentation.
Thank you.
Hope to hear from Brain Plus more in the future.
Thank you so much.